and welcome to the national news broadcast on Channel I. We are ready to bring you the top stories from home and around the world. I'm Rupavahini.
Hello there, very good evening indeed. I'm Javed Bongzo and we begin with the headlines of tonight's news.
A haul of heroin worth 100 million rupees seized by the police with weapons. The Premier requests new entrants to Parliament to set aside personal objectives and join to bring about a gigantic constitutional change. The President puts forward a set of proposals to ensure a high agro-harvest. The former State Intelligence Services Director states that he is not safeguarding anyone from allegations pertaining to the Easter Sunday attacks. The UMP Working Committee meeting concludes without a decision on the party leadership.
Now for those and other stories in detail. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has put forward several proposals, pointing out that the time has come to increase agriculture harvests in order to build a strong local economy. The President points out the importance of strengthening the local agro-economy, taking note of the economies of other countries that are collapsing due to the coronavirus. The President expressed these views at a discussion held at the President's office last evening. The discussion was convened with regard to future plans of the State Ministry of Paddy, Grain, Organic Food, Vegetables, Fruits, Chilies, Onions and Potato Cultivation and High-Tech Agriculture. The President stated that the objectives within the next 2 years need to be achieved focusing on all sectors, including seed and sapling production, fertilizer utilization, agro-innovations and research, storage facilities and transportation. The President noted that the annual potato harvest in the country is 80,000 tons. However, the consumer demand is at 250,000 tons, and therefore the President noted that the local potato farmers need to be encouraged in order to meet the domestic demand without importing potatoes. Chairman of the Presidential Task Force on Economic Restoration, Basil Rajapaksa, pointed out that the importing potatoes can be limited by providing farmers with hybrid seeds and plants and by encouraging consumers to purchase other types of yam as substitutes. He also stated that self-sufficiency in maize can be achieved next year. The President pointed out the need to use modern technology to produce seeds and plants and to conduct research. The President also pointed out the need for proper usage of high-standard fertilizer and the importance of reaching a policy decision on switching to organic fertilizer usage to create a healthy population. The discussion also focused on reducing losses incurred in storage and transport. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa instructed the officials to prepare a systematic plan to promote the agriculture sector and speedily fill the vacancies at the Department of Agriculture, since recruitments have not been done over a period of 8 years. The discussion was also attended by Minister of Agriculture Mahindananda Alutgamage, State Minister Sashinda Rajapaksa, Presidential Secretary P.B. Jayasundara and representatives of farmer associations and agro institutions.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa requests of parliamentarians who have been elected to Parliament for the first time to set aside personal agendas and join together to bring about a gigantic constitutional change expected by the people without political party differences. The Premier further stated that groups that did not meet with the expectations of the people were defeated at the general election. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa expressed these views conducting the keynote address at the orientation seminar to introduce parliamentary procedure to the first-time entrants of the 9th Parliament. 82 new faces are seen in Parliament this time. The conference was held to educate the new entrants on parliamentary traditions and procedure. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa said that the recently held general election is an unforgettable election in the political history of the country, as it gave the government a two-thirds majority and, surprisingly, the oldest party in the country, which is the United National Party, did not secure even one seat. The Premier said that the election gave an important lesson, which is that the people of the country will not hesitate to reject a leader who does not work for the country, regardless of whether that leader is the Prime Minister or the party leader or descendant of a political family. Prime Minister Rajapaksa further stated that it is not possible to assume that people considered only the intellectual capacity when voting, as people will vote if the candidates love the country and are able to work for the country. The Premier therefore advised the new parliamentarians to bear in mind that the responsibilities placed upon them need to be fulfilled properly, as merely being educated or hailing from a political family and holding a position is not sufficient. He further stated that regardless of which area is of concern, ranging from pottery to aviation, the new parliamentarians need to regard the task as a duty on behalf of the country and fulfill it, since regardless of whether one is a minister or a parliamentarian, the people of the country will not hesitate to unseat incompetent individuals. Prime Minister Rajapaksa also stated that an individual who is unable to represent the government when not offered a ministerial post can never engage in politics in the opposition, as it is such individuals who cross over to the opposition and ultimately change political parties. He added that such individuals have no political future.
විපක්ෂයට ගිය ගමන් පක්ෂ මාරු කරන්න. එහෙම අයට දේශපාලනේ හොඳ අනාගතයක් නැති බව අපි තේරුම් ගන්නවා. මට සැලකුවේ නැහැ මාව කොම් කළා. ඉතින් කෙඳිරි ගන්න වෙලාවක් අපිට නැහැ. දැවැන්ත ව්‍යවස්ථාව වෙනසක් ජනතාව අපේක්ෂා කරනවා. අපි සියලුම පෞද්ගලික න්‍යාය පත්‍ර පැත්තකට දාලා ජනතාවගේ බලාපොරොත්තු ඉස්සෙල්ලාම ඉටු කරන්න ඕන කියලායි අපි විශ්වාස කරන්නේ. දේශපාලන පක්ෂ ભેදයෙන් තොරව කටයුතු කරන්න අපේ වගකීමක් වශයෙන් අපි දකිනවා.
Speaker of Parliament Mahinda Apabewardena stated that several issues pertaining to the Constitution have been observed and they need to be rectified. The Speaker stated that it is their responsibility to make sure that an unfortunate situation does not have to be faced in the future again. Chief Opposition Parliamentarian Lakshman Kiryal observed that the reputation of the Parliament was tarnished due to unpleasant situations experienced by both sides of the House. The MP further stated that this new Parliament can change the situation and restore the reputation of Parliament by ensuring decent dialogue. Alongside the conference, the book published by the Parliament titled Parliamentu Sara Sanhita, which is a synopsis of parliamentary traditions and procedure, was presented to Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa by Parliamentary General Secretary Dhammika Dasanayaka. The conference was also attended by Leader of the House, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, and Chief Government Whip, Minister Johnston Fernando.
Upon information elicited after arresting the mother of organised criminal Podi Lassi, raids were carried out in the Hikkadua, Telvatta and Rathgama areas today, discovering a haul of 11 kilos of heroin worth 100 million rupees. With the seized stock of heroin, 2 T-56 weapons, 82 live bullets, 2 pistols and 39 bullets were seized by the CID. Investigations have been initiated to ascertain as to whether the police personnel arrested on suspicion of drug trafficking are connected with this smuggling incident. The Western Province North Crimes Division yesterday arrested the mother of drug dealer and organised criminal Janit Madhusanka de Silva alias Podi Lassi. The police state that the arrestee was in hiding along Maya Mawatha at Panipitiya in Kottawa. She was arrested upon charges of using monies earned from large-scale drug trafficking. Cash amounting to 51,000 rupees, 5 mobile phones and a bank passbook were in possession of the arrestee, and these have been confiscated by the police. She was produced before the Homagam Magistrates Court today and remanded until the 26th of this month. The police constable attached to the Police Narcotics Bureau, who was arrested in connection with having 31 5,000 rupee notes in possession, and the officer attached to the Mavanala Narcotics Unit, who was arrested in connection with obtaining bribes, were ordered to be remanded until the 31st of this month. The order was given by Colombo Chief Magistrate Lanka Jayaratna.
Former Secretary of the State Intelligence Service Nilantha Jayawardena said before the Presidential Commission that though certain individuals accuse him on safeguarding the former President Maithripala Sirisena in regard of the Easter Sunday attacks, he has not attempted to do so. The inquiry has been made yesterday after the Commission revealing the phone conversations had within the former President Maithripala Sirisena and former Secretary of the State Intelligence Service Nilantha Jayawardena on the month of April 2019. Nilantha Jayawardena appeared before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry on the Easter Sunday attacks for the 17th time. The judge inquired on the phone conversations held between Nilantha Jayawardena and the former President Maithripala Sirisena in between the time prior to the series of attacks and after receiving the information by a foreign intelligence service in regard of the attack. The judge further inquired on the phone calls which were dialed to the President's house located in Pajud Road, Colombo by 2 phones owned by the Presidential Commission, which were revealed to be used by Nilantha Jayawardena on 8 calls which were made between 5th April 2019 to 23rd April 2019 and another call which was made on the same day of the attack, 21st April 2019, prior to the blasts. Nilantha Jayawardena said that the communication unit of the President's residence has connected him to the President only several times. Later, the judge inquired whether Nilantha Jayawardena received 4 calls in between 4th April 2019 and 15th April 2019 by the President's residence. The witness said that the calls may have been received. Again, the judge inquired whether the witness received any calls from a person other than the President from the telephone of the President's residence. The response of the witness was, when certain individuals couldn't contact him, they tried to contact him through the telephone of the President's residence. Then the judge rigidly inquired from the witness that, as it has been revealed that he have had several conversations with the former President, whether he has informed the former President on the information received by an intelligence unit regarding the attack. The witness said that he has not informed in this regard to the former President, as the information received was only a base data, and he also said that he has informed the Chief of the National Intelligence on the 7th of April 2019 after processing the data which was received. He further said that he would have informed the former President in this regard if the National Security Council was gathered on the 15th or 16th April 2019. At the end of the hearing, Nilantha Jayawardena has said that he is not safeguarding anyone. The judge instantly responded that they never stated that he is safeguarding anyone. Nilantha Jayawardena has then said before the Commission that some others are accusing him in this regard. Additional Solicitor General entered the inquiry yesterday evening. Today, President's Counsel Shanaka Ranasinghe, on behalf of the former Chief of the National Intelligence Sisira Jayakodi, started inquiring Nilantha Jayawardena. The President's Counsel first inquired whether the State Intelligence Service had any idea on the number of followers Zaharan Hashim had at the time of information received by an international intelligence unit on the 4th of April 2019. Witness said that they have informed about Zaharan Hashim and his followers, and also said that the State Intelligence Service is not a prophecy saying service to inform exact statistics on Zaharan Hashim's count of followers. Witness further said that he is only receiving information by their relevant providers, and officers above him are receiving information from many other sources. Later, the Commission inquired him on whether the Assistant Director of the State Intelligence Service known himself about Zaharan Hashim and Shahid hiding at place in Oluvil, Akkarepattu, after the incident of destruction of a Buddha statue at Mavanella. The witness said that he was informed. The President's Counsel inquired that as it was presented to himself as a proper intelligence fact by the Assistant Director of State Intelligence, why he presented them as general data to the IGP responding. Nilantha Jayawardena said that though arguments can be raised by the vocabulary he used, at the end, what values is he has presented relevant information to the relevant individuals. The chairman of the Commission said that vocabulary which is arguable was presented by himself, and to be aware on the vocabulary while recording statements in the future. Further, the chairman said that the purpose of the Commission is not to compile falls on one person, but to reveal information of reasons based to the attack and duties which were neglected by the previous system to the general public. Further, he requested everyone to assist with the Presidential Commission as the process of taking legal actions is done after the duties of the Commission.
And today's UMP Working Committee meeting reportedly ended without a decision on the party leadership. The matter is due to be taken up for discussion once again at the next Working Committee meeting scheduled to be held during the first week of September. The Working Committee of the United National Party convened at the party headquarters Sirikota this evening. Our correspondent states that the session lasted around 3 hours. Legal Secretary to the United National Party, Nishanka Nayakar, stated that at the discussion, attention was focused on former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya. However, views were exchanged that currently he is not a member of the party. The legal secretary pointed out that a non-member cannot hold a position in the party and therefore the former speaker needs to obtain the party membership. He added that the suitability of former Speaker Karu Jayasuriya was discussed. However, a decision has not been reached.
The Court of Appeals today issued an interim injunction preventing the arrest of 5 individuals, including Kurunagala Mayor Tushara Sanjeeva Vitharana, in connection with the demolition of an ancient building in the Kurunagala town. The judge bench emphasized that the injunction preventing the warrant for arrest being proceeded with will be in force until the conclusion of the hearings of the petition. The judge bench, however, stated that the order will not hinder the investigations carried out by the police or the magistrate inquiry. Meanwhile, the Court of Appeals granted time until the 4th of September for objections to be filed pertaining to the petitions through which interim injunctions were ordered, preventing the arrests of former Finance Minister Ravi Karunanayake and others in connection with the alleged misappropriation of state funds amounting to around 52 billion rupees during 2 bond auctions of the central bank in 2016.
Continuing with more local stories, Minister of Mass Media Kehelia Rambukwala says that the Department of Government Information needs to come out of the traditional state institutions setup and enter into a plan in line with current requirements. Addressing a gathering of officials of the Department of Government Information, Minister Kehelia Rambukwala said that he sees the entity as capable of moving forward by adjusting to meet with the trends in modern technology. He further stated that the entire country is focused on the Government Information Department as it can be described as a major entity that can direct the country in the correct direction. The gathering was also attended by Secretary to the Ministry of Mass Media Jagat Vijayveera and Director General of Government Information Nalaka Kaluwaba. Minister Kehelia Rambukwala instructed the Department of Government Printing to prepare a plan to be able to undertake all priority printing matters of the government in the future. At a discussion with the department officials, the minister advised for the feasibility on printing passports, national identity cards and driving licenses to be looked into. The discussion was attended by a group of officials including government printer Gangani Lianege. The Broadcasters Guild of Sri Lanka today highly commended the service rendered to the media sector during the COVID-19 epidemic, when current Minister of Trade Bandula Gunawardena was the subject minister for media. The event was attended by Chairman of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Dr. Nihal Jayatilaka, Director General Ajit Naragala, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation, Jagat Wickramasinghe, and Chairman of the Independent Television Network, Sudat Rohana. A marketing exhibition organized by the Ceylon Industrial Development Board is underway until the 27th of this month. Minister Vimal Weerawansa visited the exhibition today.
අපනේනේ සඳහා සුදුසු නිෂ්පාදන බවට ඒ කර්මාන්ත පරිවර්තනය කරන්න අපි අවශ්‍ය කරන සෑම සහයෝගයක්ම ලබා දෙනවා.
Minister Rohitha Abegunawardena engaged in an observational visit at the Colombo Ports Authority today. He stated that the highest contribution in uplifting the economy is rendered by the Ports Authority. The total number of fully recovered COVID-19 patients in the country currently stands at 2,816. This is a percentage of 94.78. The number of patients undergoing further hospitalized treatment stands at 143, and this accounts for 4.81%. Meanwhile, 12 COVID-19 positive cases were detected in the country today from amongst returnees from India. A total number of 629 COVID-19 contracted persons were detected from the cluster at the Kandakadu Treatment and Rehabilitation Center for Narcotic Addiction, out of which 605 patients have fully recovered. This accounts for 96.18%. The number of patients undergoing further hospitalized treatment from this cluster currently stands at 24. The total number of PCR tests carried out in the island so far stands at 211,090, with 2,693 PCR tests conducted yesterday. Biosamples for PCR testing were obtained randomly from individuals employed at the state and private sector institutions in the Bhagavantalava area today. Samples were obtained from 40 persons. Biosamples for PCR testing were also obtained from apprentice police personnel at the Alpite Police Training College today. The Alpite MOH office obtained the samples of 150 individuals. A group of expatriates from Sri Lanka who were stranded overseas due to the COVID-19 pandemic returned to the island at dawn today. The group includes 275 returnees from South Korea and 21 from Doha, Qatar. They were subjected to PCR testing when they touched down at the Katnayaka airport and were sent to quarantine. Meanwhile, a street drama was performed at the Mathura bus terminal to raise awareness on health and safety guidelines on the prevention of COVID-19 today. The event was organized as a part of an awareness-raising project of the Caritas Goal Set Goal institution. At the event, face masks were distributed amongst individuals present without wearing face masks.
Leader of the Pivithuru Helawurumaya, Udaya Gammanpila, says that the majority of the Tamils of the north have rejected C.V. Vigneshwaran. He points out that the election results of the parliamentary election show that the people of the north have rejected racism. Speaking at a media briefing held in Colombo today, leader of the Pivithuru Helawurumaya, Udaya Gammanpila, said that the people of the north have rejected the extremism practiced by C.V. Vigneshwaran, as he was received just 21,554 preferential votes, while Dangajan Ramanathan and Douglas Devananda, who promised development for the north, obtained 36,365 and 32,146 preferential votes, respectively. The Pivithuru Helawurumaya leader therefore stated that it is clear that the northern people are not prepared to proceed with Tamil extremists, as it is evident through the heavy defeats suffered by C.V. Vigneshwaran that the people of the north are willing to join hands to develop Sri Lanka so that the north enjoys the benefits as well. And on cricket, the Super 8 team matches of the Inter-Club Premier League cricket series commenced today. The match between the CCC club and the Chillau Marians team was underway at the Colombo SSC grounds. Batting first, CCC were all out for 287 in the first innings. In reply, Chillau Marians were 83 for the loss of 2 wickets in the first innings at stumps today. The match between the NCC team and the Colts team was played at the CCC grounds. Batting first, NCC were all out for 458 in the first innings. BRC played the Ragama team at the Pisara Oval Stadium today. Batting first, the Ragama team scored 309 runs for the loss of 2 wickets in the first innings at stumps today.
And that's it for tonight's news. To watch us tomorrow at the very same time. Good night.
Good night.